everybody, Scott with 36 Bricks here, and let's talk about this Ninjago City Gardens. Where's the gardens? So typically I will take a set, build it, and mock it out, but I'm going to leave this set alone as is. The Ninjago Legacy Ninjago City Garden set, set number 71741. It has 5,685 pieces, and let's be honest, it should have had 1,000 less pieces. So let's take a look. Alright everybody, so let's go ahead and take a look at this build. This build is a whopping 5 stories tall, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 if you count this, with an extended tower that brings it up to about, I would say about 7 stories tall. It's got a lot of fantastic details. The trees are cool, a lot of little details here and there. But to be honest, this, in no way, shape, or form, other than this section right here, looks like a garden. Okay? There are, other than this section, which is just a little island, there is a total count of 3 trees, if that. We've got one, basically this is one tree here, and it extends up to above or around the 4th floor. Then we have this tree here, and that's pretty much it. That's it for a garden. There's very little shrubs or greenery around the entire build. To me, this build is misnamed. This should not be Ninjago City Gardens. This should be Ninjago City Tower or Ninjago City Village. But this is not Ninjago City Gardens. There is no gardens a part of this set. Now, along with this build here, there is a small set, or a small extension, which is a pagoda that is surrounded by water and some greenery, which is nice. I'm going to showcase that actually in a separate video altogether, okay? Because that is a garden. This is not a garden. This is a bunch of stores towered above each other, similar to Ninjago City. So let's go ahead and take a look at each section floor by floor. So first, we have this section here. This is the tower section. I actually think this is really cool. There's a lot of cool details, and they used a lot of these cool parts. There's not really much to it other than that. Alright, so looking at some of the interior details, this is what you would consider to be the 5th floor. This is a gamer's headquarters or gamer's room. This is a really cool arcade game that actually moves, and it has a piece, let me pop this out, it has a piece that jumps up as you move this. I thought that was a really cool arcade. That's awesome. Then you have a TV with a nice little small built couch right here. Here's the TV, and I think that's actually a really cool room. Moving in here, it's a little hard to see inside this, but if I move the tree this way, you can see that there's a little dragon build right in there that I actually think was rather awesome. Moving on to the 3rd section, Moving on to the third section of this floor, you have a little temple area with a vault that opens to showcase a little gem. Again, really great details. The roof of this section, let me pan up. The roof of this section here is actually treasure chest lids that they actually put together, and I thought that was actually a really cool detail. Now, to expand on that a little bit, I have to be honest in saying they must have had a weird roof build-off, because every one of these roofs is different, and there are some really funky looking roofs in here. Although cool, they're still really funky. So let's check them out. So let's check out the next floor. Now, one of the things that I don't really care for as far as this build is the clutch power. The clutch on every single level is extremely weak, and I'll show you why here just a minute. Oh, and before I forget, I thought this little jetpacked scooter was phenomenal. I thought that was an exceptional build. That's awesome. I really like that. So here we have what would be classified as the fourth floor. Now, I do want to take a second and discuss the clutch power. The clutch power on this build, it is very flimsy. Like, very flimsy. There is hardly any clutch whatsoever. You can see here on the green section of the roof, there's actually no clutch whatsoever. It just sits on top. And what sits on top is this piece here. Now they do have this section here to hold it on. However, because there is no clutch, like, it's very, very flimsy. I mean, just as a build in its entirety. So I'm not really thrilled about that. If you take a look at the top of the whole floor, you have clutch here, here, here. Essentially, for this whole level, holding up the tower, the center roof here, and the little temple, you have 5 points of clutch contact. To be honest, with a building this high, that's unacceptable. It is very flimsy. In fact, I am filming this on my regular table because I don't trust it anywhere else. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at each section as a whole. So this green section right here is a painting studio. It has a painting of, let's be original, Ninjago Gardens. It is a cool little feature. It is stickered, it's not a printed piece. Taking a look around, there's some awesome detail, what looks like a TV or a radio over in this section, as well as an outdoor little patio area, which I think is cool. Going over here to the middle section, it is what I would classify as a museum. I love the details. I was blown away by this window section right here, as that window section is connected to the base of a treasure chest, and I never knew that you could do that. So you learn something new every day. There's video cameras throughout the entire build, which is cool. Flipping it around, again, you have a little dragon there, a snake section, or a snake staff, which I thought was a great detail. Now moving on to the next section, it's the extension of the museum where you have a gem encased, you have some other statues, and some cool details there. Now again, the details on this set are amazing, and if you're expecting a lot of little parts, you are going to get exactly what you were expecting. Being honest with this set, they fluffed the hell out of this set. And what I mean by that is the parts. You have parts in here, like they have you build these walls in certain sections where they give you one by ones and one by twos and build that entire section up back to back when they could have easily given you one by threes. To me, that made no sense. Why not unless you're intending on fluffing part counts, there is no reason for that. With that said, this isn't a great build, and I do appreciate all the detail and thought that went into it. It's just, again, I feel like they fluffed parts like no tomorrow. Popping this off, and again, you saw no clutch whatsoever on this level. If you take a look around, and I know it's a little hard to see because of black pieces, there is no clutch whatsoever on any of this. And if you take a look at the underside, there's nothing there either. This literally just rests right on top. And that's what makes the stability of this so delicate. Now again, I discussed this a little earlier. This is some of these aspects, they're great details. So this roof here is all cleavers, meat cleavers. This roof here is nothing but Xbox remote controls. This roof over here is black hot dog pieces. So there's really no consistency as far as, I mean, this is all one build and it's got two style of roofs. This is all one build and you have, again, two style roofs. This is just a pivoting piece versus this. These are a bunch of the black hot dogs. So although these details look amazing, there's just no consistency and flow between everything. Again, especially when you have one build or one building that has two different styles of roofs. With that said, the details are amazing. I mean, the piece count, again, was highly fluffed in some parts. Instead of giving you 2x4s, they gave you two 2x2, or sorry, instead of them giving you 1x4s, they gave you two 1x2s to stack next to each other. And again, this section right here is proof. So there's nothing on the flip side of this section right here, and they give you a 1x2 here, a 1x2 here, and two 1x1s, when they could have easily just given you a 1x6. And they do that quite often throughout this build. Taking a look at the interior details, here you have an ice cream store or shop. And on this section, you have a little kitchenette apartment, which is really cool. In the center section, you have the top of the biggest tree out of the two trees that they have. And essentially that is it. Again, they have some great details. There were a lot of stickers in this set, but I do totally understand why they did that, because there is a lot going on. Okay, moving on to the next level. Alright, so moving on to the next level and popping this section off. Again, very little clutch, but a lot more than what was above. So I will start off with the tree build with the bird. It looks amazing, and it was actually a really enjoyable build. I really like what they did with this. Over here, it's a little hard to see, but you have a little another little kitchen area here, as well as a bedroom here. Looking at these details, I love what they did with the bed and a lot of the details as far as the shelving and everything. But again, we have a situation where they fluffed parts and they have another different style of roof. This side versus this side. It's very inconsistent. This particular section has a lot of clutch power. I mean, you have 8 points of clutch. Moving over to this section, you have 6 points of clutch and more details on the interior, which I love. Popping these sections off, you can see that there is a little bit more clutch power, but not much. Again, you have 4 points of clutch on this section, and on this section, you have 2 points of clutch. These have different styles of roofs as well. These are the fender pieces off cars, and this here is just a flat roof. As far as the building, the interior details, once again, are amazing. It's a little library with antiques and stuff like that on this side. And again, this side is another kitchen. Another aspect that I want to point out is the fact that a lot of these details that they added, which are amazing in this section, are in fact hidden, which is a little frustrating. So if you pop this off, you will see here, and it's a little hard to see, so I'll flip it up. You will see here, and it could be a little dark, that they have piping, and they have a lot of details as far as water filtration and all that kind of fun stuff. And to be honest, it's rather disappointing that that is not shown, because they took a lot of time in designing this for them to just cover it up. I love the fact that they added in the sewer on this side, but again, you would never know that the details are in here without popping that off. I love the details overall and the extent of the build. This section right here is the only remnants, other than the pagoda, of an actual garden. Again, there are 2 trees throughout the rest of the build, but that is it. If you've been watching my channel, I did actually build this on one of my live streams, and again, I had a lot of frustrations with the amount of small pieces in this set. And I'm not talking about like these small pieces that that are showcased here. Those are detailed pieces. You would expect those to be small, but there, under this, there is a layer of plates on top of the base plate. There are a lot of little layers, plate by plate, that they added that I feel does take away from the overall good experience of the build. Instead of having 2 plates on top of each other for this section, they could have easily just gone brick high. I do understand that layering does give a lot of details. However, when it comes to the overall experience of the build, I think it hurts the build quite a bit. So there you have it, guys. There is Ninjago City Gardens, or what I like to call Ninjago Village. And I can't really see it as a garden section, as there is very little garden. I was hoping for something along the lines of, you know, what they actually produced for the Chinese New Year set. Something more flat. I wasn't expecting something as tall as this. Overall, it is a great build with great details, but I will say that it is so far my least favorite building of my city in the experience, not the overall look and feel. So, hope you guys enjoyed that review, and we will see you next time on 36 Bricks.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to give a quick shout out and thank you to all my Patreon supporters. It means a lot that you've taken the time to support what I do and appreciate all the effort that I put into both the videos and the streams. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. For those of you that are not members, please check out patreon.com/36bricks. That's patreon.com/36brix, and check out the packages that you could take advantage of to get more content. Have a great day.
Ooh, this one's cool. Check this one out. I agree, that one's cool, but this one's awesome. Ooh, I like this one. I just can't stop watching. Well, I like them all, and I'm going to subscribe. Can you do the same? Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on 36 Bricks.